Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today, guys, we are going to show you a simple way to connect your ASP.NET Core Web API to our MongoDB. So we are going to connect our ASP.NET Core Web API to MongoDB, do some CRUD operations, and be able to retrieve some data, and also push back some data. So if you want to see how this goes along, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's begin. So I'm going to create a new project. So new project, and this is a web API. So I'll just create a ASP.NET Core Web API. So here I'll call this the sample MongoDB Web API. So this is my project name. You can find the project location, then place solution and project in the same directory. So then if we proceed, so the version here that we're going to use is .NET 9.0, which is actually under standard term support. So authentication type, just put none. Configure for HTTPS, and that is it. So enable Open API support and use controllers. So create the project, and we are going now to connect this to our MongoDB. So what I've opened here is our MongoDB Compass. And you can be able to see we have my macro code here, and we don't have any collection so far. So this is our project. Just to show you, we have our program.cs file, app setting JSON file. Then you have the controllers for weather forecast controllers. This is a sample controller. So I'll just try to launch our API. So if you want to use this, so let's just launch, then we'll be able to connect this and see. So we are going to create some models that we are going to demo with, and also see how this is connected to our database. So let's just launch our app. So just launch our app, but for you to see the API, so we are actually using, so if you just go back to our program.cs, you realize that we are using our map Open API. So you'll not be able to see the API launching here. So what you can do, you go back to our launch settings.json, then you'll take the URL here. So if we just put the URL there, then you can do Open API, then version 1 JSON. Then it will give you the JSON file. So this is the JSON of our API. So you see how it looks like, and you'll be able to see the controller and some of the methods. So get weather forecast, and this is how it looks. So, but this is what currently it comes with the .NET API, that is .NET 9. So Swagger is not the default API documentation for .NET 9. But if you want to add Swagger, so you can do that. So let's just go to our app, then manage NuGet packages. Then within here, you can just add swash. So just do swash. So if you press enter, you'll be able to see we have the swash backhoe. So we need to install this. So let's just click install. Then you also have Swagger gem. You can install that, and you can also install let's just install also the Swagger and even the UI. So we have those for NuGet packages. So if you go to our app, you'll see the NuGet packages here. But to use them, we need to do something on our program.cs. So here, I want us to comment the map Open API. Then here, we can do app.use. So if you do use Swagger, so you can do here Swagger. So you are going to use now Swagger. So you just say Swagger UI. Then you can see it gives you some default endpoints. So here you can say this is my API version 1. You can do that, and you can even say here c.default expand path. You can say that one. So this disable the default model section. So if you just, so this one you can say here, you can do this -1. So that will remove the models. So once you do that, we need also to remove this, and then we can also add our, so you can do builder dot services, then dot swagger. So we can do swagger gen. It has also given us suggestions. So we have the swagger doc. So this is our API. You can do custom IDs, and also here, I think that's fine. Use the full name for the schema IDs. That's fine. So since we have that, then we need to add something down here. We can now say app.use swagger. So we can do use swagger. So that's fine. So if we launch now this app, we should now be able to see swagger, and we should be able to see our swagger API. So you can see we have here my API, and this is weather forecast. You can also try. So if we just say try, we should get some data. So this is the data that we have. So that's one step we've done. So I want us now to start and do something. So here, I want us to create a service. So I want us to create a service. So let's just come here and create a folder. So we'll just create a folder here called API services. So that services, then you can call these, so let's create a service, call this MongoDB service. So once you have that, then we should now create, so here, I want us to have a constructor. I'll just do CTO. Then here I'll do public. So let me zoom this. So I hope you can see. So here I'll do, public, private. Let's just do private, read only. But here I'm going to do read only. Then here we'll say I configuration. So I just want I configuration. Then underscore configuration. The same case we'll have it here. So we had this, so we can remove that. So I can have this here, then inside here I can assign. So that's fine. So once we have that, I need us to add something on our app settings. So this one, we are going to add our database connection. So here we'll just do a connection string. So this is our default connection, but for our MongoDB, we are going to give it our connection. So if you come to our MongoDB compass, so if you do this and you can say copy connection string, so you can come here, then you just say copy connection string, and you can also say edit. You'll be able to see the connection string here. But if you come now using the copied MongoDB connection, so this is the connection, you can also have slash macro code. So this is our database here. So you can see macro code, and you can even create another database. So our database name is macro code. So you can do that. So we now have our app settings. So if you go to our program.cs, that's okay. We can go to MongoDB service that we've just created. So here, I want us to get the connection string from the configuration. So here we can do, so it will give us the connection here. So get connection string, and our connection string is a default connection. So we'll just paste it here. Then I want us to have, so we need to create a MongoDB URL. So I'll just say variable Mongo URL. Then we assign it to say new. So before even going there, there's something I want us to install. So we need to install some NuGets. So one is the MongoDB EFCO. So I'll just come here. So I'll just, so we are going to install MongoDB EFCO here. So that is one. So here I'll just install this, and also we can install EFCO tools. So it's so that's one. We can also install the MongoDB driver. So let's just install MongoDB driver. So I'll be showing you how to do CRUD operation using MongoDB EFCO. So for now, I think those two are okay. So here, if we go to MongoDB service, I can now use MongoDB driver. So we are using MongoDB driver for now, and we'll be showcasing the next approach. So here, I can do client, then Mongo client. Then I can say here. So here I can say, can do here private, then read only, then MongoDB, Mongo database. So then I can assign the database here. So I can do add underscore database. So underscore database will be client get database, then the database name. So once we have that, what we can do here, we can do public. So I'll just do public. Then I can say MongoDB Mongo database. Then I can say here, just do a database. Then you can say here equals to that. So since we have this, then the next thing we need to do is to register our MongoDB service. So I'll just go to program.cs. Then I'll within down here, I can do builder.services.add singleton. Then I'll pass my MongoDB service. Then that's okay. So once we have that, we can create the model. So I'm going to create a model. So I'll just come here and say models. Then I'll create a student model. So I'll just come and create a student class called, so I'll just say student. Then on creation of that, we can actually decorate these with a collection. So we can call these, this collection will be, so I'll call this collection. Collection name will be students. Then here we can add the properties. So our first property will be, so I'll do public string ID. Then I'll just say here get set. So we don't need to have this. Then, sorry. So here, once you have that, then here I can decorate with, so I'll do here base ID, can do that. Then I can also say this is, I can do based on elements. Then I can have these as, so I can have this as the ID, and I can even do this. And here, within here, I can also say it's represent the object. So here I can do that. So based on type is object ID. So then that's one. I can do another one for first name. So I'll say first name. So I can also do this. But now I'll want this. So I'll just say, let me zoom in. So here I'll do first name. I can do here first name, and I can have this as a string. I can also copy these. I can have here middle name, and I can call these middle name. This is also string. Let's just have this as middle name. I can also have last name. So this will be my last name. Then here I can have this as string. This is also last name. So the next property will be the address. So I can do here address, and this will be address. So this is also string. I can also do phone. Let's just do here phone number. phone number. Then this will also be string. You can do here phone number. Then I can also have email. So I'll do email address. This will be email address. Email. I'll just do email address. Then this will be string. I can also have sex. You can say this sex. You can also have this as sex. That is okay. So once we have this, then we now have our. So this is enough. So I can say this is that way. Can this be nullable? No. Let's just leave it that way. So once you have that, so I want us to create a controller. So I want us to create a controller, an empty one. So I'll just say new controller API, and with it's an empty controller. So I'll just, or you can have this with the create or write actions. So you can call these student controller. So I call this student controller. So we have this now. So this is our controller. And one thing to do is I want us to have here our constructor. So I'll just do that. Then at the top here, let me zoom. So I want us to add our, so I'll do here private. I want us to have our, so I'll do read only. Then you can say this is iMongo client. Then I can say this is student. So then here we can do student. So I'll call this student. So this will be iMongo collection, not client. Collection. iMongo collection. So that's it. So once you have that, then I also want to inject my service here. I'll call it MongoDB service. So this is my service, and I can have it that way. Then here for my service, I will say student. So my student will be equals to MongoDB service database, then get collection, then students. What was our collection name? Remember, we have the collection name here. So once you have that, then we are good to go. So the first thing now here is to get, so here I'll just change these endpoints. I'll call these, so I'll do here sync, then task, then this will be action result. So there we go. So this is the action result list students get. So here we'll be doing students is equals to await student.find. So here we can do here. So what I want us to do here, we can do find async. Then you can say filter definitions. You can say student empty. Then you can do to list async. So let me zoom in. Then you can do here to list. So this is so let's see here. So I want just to return students here. So I'll just do here. Sorry, I'll return these students. Remove this, but here we can do to list. So this one you can say, let's just do here. This is to list async here. So that's fine. So this will give us the students. So I want us also to do a get by ID. So we are going to say this is get all students. Then you can say here get student by ID. So we are passing so our ID is a string. Then we are getting that. Then here, what we need to do now is we'll say variable filter equals to, so we'll say builders student.filter equals to, so we'll do here ID equals to that. So, or we can even have here, so you can say, can do this, can do s.id equals to, can do here ID. So if you do that, that's okay. Then you can say variable student, you can say find filter, then first. So here you can do await. Then you can say find first or default. Then here we have, so you can do async, then task, then you can have our action result. So action result, then we can pass our model. So that's fine. You can close that as well. So here we can say if student is null, we can return not found. Else we can do return okay student. So that's fine. So that is so what happens to the add? So we need to add. So you can say this is add student. So here we'll have our body. So you can just do here. Let's just do here. Can pass our student here. So you can say student. Then this is our student. Now here you can also say this is async. Then task, action result, and we can close this. You can say this is add student. Then inside here we can do, if this is null, we can return band request. Then we can insert one student, and then we can create at action name get student by ID. We pass the student ID, and it will give us the student detail that we've just inserted. So after that, I also want us to do an update. So we'll say here update student. So this one will also do async. Then task. Here we can have action result. Then we can close that. So here we are updating a student. So here we can just pass the model. So we'll just say student, and also we'll say student. So inside here, I want us to do something. So I'll say filter equals to, we'll say builders, then students equals to ID, then student ID. Then here we can say update, we can say variable update equals to, so we'll do builders, then you can have these as student, then you can say this is dot update. Then we can now set. So you can set some of the properties that you want to update. So it says set. So here, if you set, it'll do, sorry. So here we can, I think we had a suggestion. So you can have that. You can also have middle name. You can have last name. You can also have address. You can have phone number. You can have email address. And you can have, how many properties do we have here? Middle name, last name, phone number, email address, and sex. So first name, middle name, last name, email address, and so the last one is the sex one. So if we do here, we can say sex, and this is also sex. So once we have that, then we can do here await. So you can say result, await student update, filter, and update. Then you can also, so that is that. You can also say, can do await, replace async if it's not there. So you can do this. If, you can say if that, then you can say not found. So you can also do await, replace. So you can do here. So I think that's fine. replace or we can await. So it depends on how you will want this to happen. So once you have that, then we can return OK. So just return OK, then everything is OK. What about deletion now? So here you can also do async. You can say task, then you can have action result. So you can say action result. Then you can have here, so you can pass the model student. Then you can also have, we can say delete student. And you can pass our string, that's the ID. Then here we can now say filter, get the student ID, delete one student, then that's OK. So here we can also do update. If that was not modified, you can also, so you can do that, or you can do replace one. So once this is OK, so what's wrong here? So we've done async, action result. We need to close this. We need that. So we now have our endpoints ready for us to test our application. So let's launch our API and see. So we should be able to create a student, update, and even delete. So let's just see how this works. So you can see this is our endpoints. So if I'll just come here and say, so we can just come here and add a student. So I'll just say here, I'll put in some characters. Then I'll say here Jane, Mwangi, Opio. Then you can say Ahmed. Then you can do some numbers. Test at gmail.com. Then mail. So if we try that and execute, let's just see if our app works. So there is something wrong here. So it says an error occurred while serializing. The ID property is not a valid 24-digit. So let's just leave the ID. So here we can leave the ID. So if we execute, it has generated. So remove the ID and it will generate. So if you go back to our database, so let's refresh. So refresh database. You'll see we have a connection called students. So this is a collection, and you can see the data that we've just supplied. So this is our data, and you can be able to see some of this information. So let's add multiple records. So I'll just execute multiple times. So let's try to execute multiple times. And if we refresh, and this is our database. So you can see these are some of the values that we have. So we have all this data here. So if you see here, we can be able to see the data, and these are the values. So all these values are there. If you're able to get the results, then the ID, you can get one of the ID. If we get that, we can try to retrieve a single student ID here. So if we say try, we pass the ID here, and you should be able to get the student data. So you see, we have the student data here. And also, in case you want to update, we can also update this particular student. So we pass the ID here. We say James, Mwangi, Karanja, Opio. You can have some phone numbers. You can say test at gmail.com. Then we say female. So this is, we've changed this guy to James Karanja. So let's just copy the ID. So if we execute, so it's telling us string is not a valid, yes. So let's just remove this. So if we execute this, it's telling us the ID, yes, the ID of the guy. So we need to pass this ID here. So if we execute that, then it is okay. Now let's retrieve that particular record here. We should get the updated values. James, Karanja, you see, Opio, and female. So those are the details that we've just updated. And we can also delete that particular guy. So if we come here and we say delete, we should be able to delete that guy. And if we try to get the details here, we should not be able to see any information. So you see, not found. So we've got that record has been removed. So I think that is it for today. We've been able to connect to our MongoDB using MongoDB Driver. So I'll be showing you how you can now leverage on EFCO to do some of these details that you've done. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and see you in our next episode. Bye.